All right, guys, sorry about that. All right, so I'll let people hop on for a second. Oh my gosh, my computer died, like just died. And my my light is over the battery part, so it just died, sorry. But I have all your questions here on my phone. So I got you. Um, and I'll be able to answer all your questions. I got them. All right. So go ahead and share this again. And we'll get going again. So I apologize. All right. So I'm just going to continue. So we were talking about virtual learning. We were talking about how a lot of it is getting worse. It's not getting better. And I was on the subject of the fact that we have to keep our emotions in check. All right. And what I mean by that is you have the school system over here, and you could have amazing teachers, which a lot of these teachers are actually pretty good, but they're possibly not good at virtual learning. Or they're really good, but the virtual learning isn't working for your child. Okay. So we kind of have this thing going on. But bottom line, what I was saying is you got to take your energy and your emotions and your care and whatever is going on in regards to either teachers or administration or anything like that, and you have to put the focus and energy onto your child. Okay. And what I mean by that is you cannot make excuses because they're nice. You can't make excuses because they're trying really hard. Does that make sense? So let me just give you an example. And teachers probably hate me right now for this, but guys, I was a teacher. I get it. Okay. And my daughter's a teacher now. So this isn't about teachers or anything in regards to that educational team. This is solely in regard to virtual learning not working and the school district not doing what's needed and appropriate to make the change within their whole district to make it work and make it better. Okay? So it's not any one person's problem. It is a problem that all need to get involved in over there and deal with, so that there's FAPE being provided. There's not as many lawsuits going on. There's not as many mediations and due process. I mean, I have so many mediations and due processes. My head is freaking spinning. Okay? It's crazy. All right? What is going on is crazy. And it's not working. And that doesn't mean, oh, okay, we can go back to school and all our kids get COVID. No. What I'm saying is, and this is where I'm a big advocate in regards to education, if something's not working, then damn it, make a change. That's virtually too. If something's not working in the classroom, physically, in the classroom, at school, are you telling me that you're not going to make a change? You're not going to change what's going on so that things start working more smoothly, more effectively, etc.? Same thing virtually. If something's not working, freaking change it, for God's sake. All right? Let me give you an example. All right? Teacher to whoever is out there that's struggling with virtual learning, educating our children. All right? So this is coming from a mom and an educator. All right? I'll give you an example. So there's a child that I'm very familiar with and that I've worked with, and their main disability is speech. Okay? You have a speech therapist that came in and was talking with the student and having them talk back, and a lot of things that do go on in speech. But it wasn't working virtually. It wasn't working for this child virtually. This child was not engaging virtually. Then you have another teacher, speech therapist, who came into play. And guess what this speech therapist did? And they had nothing to do with each other. They didn't know each other. There was no communication, nothing like that. This other speech therapist comes in, all right, and everything she did was visual. Pictures. She'd show them on the screen. Look at this, kind of like PECs, you know? with colors, and it was fun, and it was engaging. All right? So you have one speech therapist that was talking and doing the speech that way and trying to get them to say words and pronunciate words in certain ways. And speech therapists are really talented where they can manipulate the mouth, and they can do things with gloves, of course. And, and that can be part of the child's therapy. However, one of the things that is important is you have to figure out with a child, especially with special needs, what is going to work and what is not, what is going to engage and what is going to create, them not being focused, them not to be present, them not to be having anything to do with you online, and them wanting to know if they're going to get on the iPad or get a snack or whatever. You have to learn, whoever is educating these children online, okay, I'm speaking to everybody, you have to learn to engage them. And that is meaning you have to get creative, because if you're not creative, it's going to cause a lot of issues and discourse, not just with the student, but with the parent as well.
Have a good night.
What's important too?
Have a good night.
I love you. Okay.
Love you.
Okay. What's really important too is making sure that that child is learning as they're engaging. So we have these two speech therapists that I was telling you about, and I know people are on here, and I know I got off because my computer died. So post a 1 below if you're new, first through third time catching me live. This is a repeat or a number 2 from the number 1 that's already on the page. My computer died, and I was busy talking, and my light was hiding my charger thing on my computer, and it died, and everybody was gone. So 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live, 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie, and start posting your questions. I have all your old questions to my to the last one that I got cut off of because my computer died. So I got them. I will go back and listen to them or look at them so that I answer your questions. Okay, I promise. All right, but here's the thing. All right, is you have to be engaging with these kids. All right. So again, what I was saying is you have a speech therapist that was talking and engaging with the student that way, and the kid was like wanting nothing to do with this. It was just not working. Then you had a speech therapist who completely engaged with this child in a different way, and it worked with pictures, with having them point at different things and using their words to point at what they were looking at. So instead of saying it and communicating that way to show speech, because it was speech class, one-on-one, the student was able to point and do the same thing, but point and do something physical on top of being verbal and it being an engaging situation. Either way, one worked, one didn't. All right? These were 2 separate speech therapists. So where the problem is we need to be able to have whoever it is working with your child, because I'm sure it's not 50 different speech therapists, all right, or 50 different teachers, all right? That person who is working with your child needs to get creative. And if something is not working, then damn it, they better change it. And you can't not sit there basically and say nothing, okay? You have to speak up. You have to say, this is not working. How you are engaging with my child online is not working. You need to change it up. Get creative. Create pictures. Whatever it is, make it fun. Stand up. Put a clown costume on. I don't care. Get creative to do whatever is necessary so these kids learn. If it means you got to put clown makeup on every day, if you got to put a wig on every day, whatever it is you have to do, because it's virtual, because it's different, they're not physically coming to school, which they're completely used to, you have to get creative. All right? It actually might be fun, so try it. Just saying. All right? So everybody else, in regards to moms, dads, grandmas, etc., all right, you all need to be their voice. If it's not working, that doesn't mean the person on the other end of the screen is bad or doing something horrible. It just means the way they're delivering the information, the way that they're implementing something, is not working for your child. You can't speak for any other child but yours. So you voice that, meaning you say what's up. You say, hey, this is what's going on. Your speech that Cynthia says, my son's therapist uses a match game, pick the 2 cards, say the words, and keep scores working. Yeah, and that's fun. That's another great idea. Having games, to engage with them, to get them to do what you want them to do by having something fun in place to have them do. Because that's incentivizing them. So it has to get creative. As teachers, we have to think in a way, at least the ones that, and I don't mean anything by this, but, you got your teachers that are younger. I have a psychologist, and she did an amazing job. She's young, and she just had gotten out of school. And I'll tell you, I'm going to use this, and I'm going to show you guys. And mom said that I can just cross out her son's name and use this to show you guys and use it as something as a teaching tool. This evaluation, guys, I've never seen anything like it. I'm not kidding. I have never seen anything like it. It is that thorough. This psychologist did every single test, every one, and above and beyond. I could not believe it. And it created a picture. And that's what we've got to have with reading, with anything else in life. If we can create a picture in our brain and see what it is going on in the book, in class, whatever, we're able to formulate what's going on. If it's, for example, like I told the teacher, go listen to the last video, you'll understand what I'm talking about. When I said to the teacher, paint that picture for me. And she did. And I realized that was a chaotic mess, and that's why it wasn't working for the child. Just like with reading, if they can create a picture in their mind, they're able to then comprehend. They will learn very quickly how to comprehend because they've painted that picture. They know how to paint a picture in their minds. Sky being at Linda Mood Bell, I asked her, I said, what'd you do today? Several times for a couple weeks. And she kept saying that she was reading and painting pictures. And I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking, painting pictures? Like, what the hell is she at this expensive ass school that, I fought so hard for her to be at to paint freaking pictures, So I have a review with Linda Mood Bell, and, I said, can you explain to me, because I'm not really sure what I think about this, because she keeps saying, when I say, hey, what did you do today? She keeps saying that she's reading, thank goodness, and that she's painting pictures. And they said, no. She's painting pictures in her mind. Oh, that's what I said. I was like, wow, that makes sense. I said, so she's not coloring anything? She's not. And they said, no, we're teaching her how to paint the picture in her head so that she can then answer questions. Amazing. And it works. She's gone up, pretty much 2 grade levels in 7 months. It just goes to prove that if you can paint a picture, visualize and verbalize is another thing that's really great. Things come and are answered, whether it be comprehension, something going on in life, and the picture being painted for you, whatever. All right? And the reason I asked this teacher to paint the picture for me is because as an advocate, I needed to know, but you all as parents have to know too. Have them paint the picture. If you're not there and you can't visually see it or whatever, ask them. Tell me what that looks like. Paint that picture for me, because I'm not understanding. All right? Because I wasn't there. I wasn't able to see what was going on. So her painting that picture and me realizing, oh, whoa, that's why he's not learning. That's why it's chaotic. That's why it's crazy, But I didn't realize that, without her painting that picture, I just knew it wasn't working. Whatever it was they were doing wasn't working. So me having her paint the picture made me realize why it was not working. I am not one that just settles with it's not working. I want to know why, what's going on, why is it not working, and if it's not working, what are you going to do about it? And then I start thinking in my head of, okay, what are the options out there that can go into play that can change what's going on here, the chaos, the whatever, so that this child starts learning. Because what is the point of them showing up online to sit there and not learn and not make progress? You might as well take them off the damn computer at that point. Why are we putting our kids, which many of them have meltdowns, on the computer to not make progress? That doesn't make any sense to me. To me, that's pointless. So something has to change, and that's what I'm saying. Is it's not about blame, it's not about hate, it's not about being rude, it's not about being disrespectful. It's about being a parent and having to put those emotions aside of others and solely thinking about our child and our child's well-being and their child's education. If they're not making progress, why aren't they making progress? What needs to change so that they do make progress? And that needs to be the sole focus. Well, that's what this page is about, okay? So you have to focus on what the hell do I got to do to figure out what needs to happen so that my child is not regressing anymore. So that my child, as things are getting worse with COVID, that my child doesn't continue to regress. That by next year, because most of our kids probably won't go back to school this year, if next year comes, my child's going to be what, 2 years behind? You don't want that, guys. That's crazy. So you gotta be on top of it. You gotta hold the school accountable for FAPE. You just have to. If you want to be all caught up with, oh, the teacher's nice and it's a new school district or whatever the case may be over there, then go be worried about that. But being worried about that ain't gonna help your little one. So it's not about being mean or heartless. It's about facts. And at the end of the day, it's about my child. Okay? And that's what's got to matter. And that's what's got to be important. Okay? So I'm not going to sit and justify the fact that these children have to learn. Okay? So if educators want to hate because these kids aren't learning, then that's fine. But it still is what it is. You want it to change, make the change. Do something different. Do something that works. It's as simple as that. So you can sit and bitch about people saying, hey, FAPE's not going to be not being provided. The teacher this, the teacher that, the speech therapist this, the school district that, the school district this, whatever. And they can hate over there. That's fine. Again, my daughter's a teacher. I used to be a teacher. I'm not hating on that. I'm hating on the fact that if something's not freaking working, change it. Okay? That means you may have to change your outline of what you teach every day. Okay? If the way you are teaching is not working, smart people want to change and do better. If I'm not doing something right and it is not productive or working or didn't give me the result I wanted, then I'm going to figure out what I got to do to go and do it better the next time. And that's just my personality. But in the educational system, they got to take on that responsibility and that personality, whether they have it or not, because it is up to them to make sure these kids get educated. And what's really sad too is that a lot of the districts are the ones who dictate what's going on or what system the teachers use or what's going on as far as like how things are delivered, etc. And then the teachers have no choice and then they have to do it. And then who gets the shit end of the stick, So that's going on too. But again, that can't be my problem. My problem is my child. Do you see how I have to take myself away from the situation and I have to stay over here in my lane? All right? I got to stay in my lane and be focused on my shit. I can't be focused over here. All right? I can't live my life having the thought process of pleasing everybody or being not rude in a way that's not going to get out what's supporting my child or what's not working or effective for my child. I've never been that type of person. I can't be the type of person that lives my life to always please somebody. I can't live my life, always wanting to make everybody happy. Not going to happen. Not ever going to happen. Okay? But when it comes to educating children, all children, you have to make it fun, you have to make it interesting, and you have to be flexible and willing to change it up by the hour if you have to. All right? And you can't be the type of person where it's socially acceptable. I'll give you an example. Where, have you ever had a doctor, guys, and or even a lawyer, shoot, where they have a horrible bedside manner or a horrible, kind of smart ass attitude if they're an attorney, okay? But they're damn good. Or the doctor is so good that you're like, you'll overlook the bedside manner or, their cockiness because they're that damn good, right? Because what's happening? What's happening? You're saying, okay, you're an ass, but you're really good at what you do, so I'm sticking with this. This is working for me. All right? So that's socially acceptable, okay? Do we like the fact that they're not that nice? No. Do we wish they were nicer? Sure. But if they're good at what they do and they're good at their job and they get it done at the end of the day, I don't care how nice they are. All right? So, that's what it's all about. And I tell people that about me. All right? I'm not always for everybody. I'm not everybody's cup of tea because when I go after school systems, I make sure I get that shit done. All right? And I'll follow it all the way through. So some parents are that makes them nervous, I always give in. I always say yes, or, they intimidate me, or, they'll say something and then they catch me up and then I don't know what else to say, or, or they'll get caught up in the intimidation things that the schools do, like calling Cynthia, you know about this, calling a facilitated IEP meeting. No, if you can't be an adult and discuss it and have a conversation, no, I have no interest in being a facilitated IEP meeting. Is that going to intimidate me? No. And I definitely have no problem saying no to that. Bottom line, they have to provide FAPE to your child. Bottom line, they have to make sure that things are done individually. And bottom line, they have to make sure that the educational process and the progression continues. If your child's regressing, if your child's not learning, then FAPE isn't being provided. You probably hear me saying FAPE, 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 FAPE. That's free appropriate public education. By law, per idea, online, okay, it's online. And I know it's hard to understand sometimes. That's what has to be upheld, okay? The Department of Education secretary has been very clear on the fact that her exact words were, I believe our school systems will be able to appropriately educate our children and will address things as needed and appropriate to make sure that that happens. And her first words before all that was, I have faith in the school systems. All right? So she basically said that whole time that I even thought back in March, remember, was it March, April, where I was like, oh shit, what are they going to do? What's going to happen? What's the provisions going to go in place, for, the school systems? They're going to be given all this extra stuff because of COVID. And guess what she said? Nope. We ain't giving you shit. You're going to educate these kids. Online or in school. And you guys know I joke. I always say in the middle of the road or wherever else. It doesn't matter. FAPE's got to be provided. Okay? They can be in the middle of Disneyland. FAPE's got to be provided. Okay? Doesn't matter. Okay? It's got to be provided. That's all I expect. And then I'm really nice. Okay? I'm a really nice person. But you better provide my child FAPE. All right? And that means that speech is provided as needed and appropriate, OT is provided as needed and appropriate, direct services are provided as needed and appropriate, accommodations are put in as and not as needed, that are put in and put into play, bottom line. All right, not as needed. What's as needed? How am I supposed to say? Is the child supposed to say, hey, as needed time, it's as needed time, I need you to help me with my graphic organizer, I need a break, I need to get a 2-minute break to walk around? Some of them can't talk. How are they supposed to say, hey, it's as needed time? That's what it says in my IEP. I'll give you the accommodation as needed. Screw that word, y'all. Y'all better erase it out of your IEP. All gone. Sharpie, black marker, and then initial it and say no longer as needed. Okay? There's no such thing as needed. Your child needs it or they don't. Okay? If they need extra time, they need extra time, not as needed. They either need it or they don't. They need notes from the teacher versus write their own notes because of frustration, sensory issues, whatever have you. Then they get those damn notes, not as needed. Okay? That's a word. Get that the hell out of your IEP, as needed. If you got the word as needed in your IEP, you need to go back to the table and tell them to take it all out. Or say, I need an amendment. I need an amendment. On page 1, 2, 4, 8, and 20, you need to take as needed out. All right? That's what y'all got to do. All right? All right. All right. I love doing IEP meetings, y'all. I really do. And I have to say, sometimes I like the fact that they're looking at me like, holy shit, what the hell just happened to us? And sometimes I'm like, I'm really not a mean person. I'm just advocating for these kids. But I'm not mean. If you provide them everything that I ask for that's needed for them, because I've reviewed every single document, I've gone through it with a fine-tooth comb, and I'll tell you, it looks like a damn rainbow by the time I get through with it and note it on my computer with all the notes. And I have red highlighters and blue highlighters, and look, I got my orange one right here. I got yellow highlighters, and I highlight all kinds of different things, and I even create like a little box for myself. Okay, red means this, orange means this. I'm that psycho with it. And I do that because it helps me focus. I'm visual, all right? Most people are visual. A lot of our kids are visual, all right? And I'm visual, and and in an IEP meeting, there's high stress, and my mouth's running, I don't stop, right? So I got to have that visual to, and I waste a lot of ink. So even though I have it in front of me and all my notes, on my computer, I'm still, looking at all the documents and my visuals. All right. I waste a lot of ink. And I make sure that I'm able to, if I'm bringing something up, if I'm saying, like I said in this meeting, I said this child does not need, 2 times a week at 30 minutes for group speech. We need to change that. What's more appropriate for him is 2 times a week individual speech and 1 time a week group. That's what it needs to be changed to. Okay? And I said instead of 120 hours a month of OT, this child needs 2 times a week OT. And I back it all up. And I don't bend. Just like on the goals. We went through the goals. At first, they said, oh, well, we saw your goals, and, we went in and tweaked it a little bit. All right? And then I saw their first goal. And I said, I'm going to tell you right now before we get started. The one thing I will work with you. The one thing I will not tweak is the 9 out of 10 trials at 90% accuracy for the annual goal. Okay, whatever the goal is, at 9 out of 10 trials at 90% accuracy, it will not change. I won't bend on that. So we can go to mediation, we can go to due process, I don't care, but I won't bend on that. But if you want to tweak the goal a little bit and we play with it and we work together, I'm all for that. But I will not bend on that 9 out of 10 trials at 90% accuracy. You guys want to know why? And then I'm going to jump off here because I'm tired. And I was watching a movie with my husband, and he's kind of mad because I sent him upstairs. All right. So he's like, you're mean. I'm like, I don't want to get up. The office isn't ready yet. You haven't finished it. So you get up and go to the bedroom, and I'm going to sit here and go live with all my friends. Awesome. That's the first thing Raven taught me too. Don't sign that IEP paper at the meeting. Yeah. What was I saying, y'all? Look, I just got off topic because I was talking about my husband. Um, what was I saying, y'all? Shoot, I just like, what was I saying? I was saying something. Someone want to remind me? What was I saying before I got off topic talking about like being in my living room? Y'all weren't listening? What? Lost it. I had to come back. Give me a second. Um, thank you, Lindsay. You guys are awesome. Yes. Okay. So I don't bend on the 9 out of 10 at 90% accuracy. And I'm going to tell you why. Thank you guys. You guys rock. All right. So a lot of schools, and tell me if this is y'all. All right. A lot of schools, whoever writes the IEP, usually it's a special ed teacher, will say 3 out of 4 trials. That seems to be their biggest. 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5. Those are the top ones. All right. 3 out of 4 times, or they'll say 3 out of 4 trials, but then sometimes they'll leave the percentage part out. And I'm like, anybody can do something 3 times. I mean, all I got to do is remember it really quick, and then 1, 2, 3. And then my question for you then is, if they have to do it 3 times in what? 2-week period, 4-week period? No. The goal should be solely based off of, all right, you have your annual goal, you have your first short-term objective, you have your second short-term objective, and each should be on the quarter. All right. So the first one is the first quarter, the second one's the second quarter, and so on and so forth. All right. And then that is how they master that goal. Okay. So when I create a goal, the short-term objective is the least, the first one. Then the second one moves up. So let's just say 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. All right. Or 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So thank you, Erin. So when it is like that, then every quarter when you get your progress report, you will see if that goal is mastered. All right. So if it says your child will write legibly on age appropriate paper within the lines in 9 out of 10 trials at 90% accuracy as measured by report data collection and written work by October 2020, then at that, usually October is one of the first progress report times. So in October, not only are you going to get a progress report, but in my IEPs of people, I get their IEPs straight up going, there it says that in the progress report, they'll have data collection stapled to it. All right. So not only do you get the progress report that has the goal and the comment and the mastered, making progress, whatever it is it says, they'll say a little bit different. Then attached to that is going to be written work to show you that that goal of writing is truly improving. Okay. So that's why it's important, because 3 out of 4 times can be memorized. 9 out of 10 is reasonable enough, measurable enough to where in a 9-week period, that child has mastered that goal. Okay? It gives them the time and the ability to truly master it, not memorize it. Okay? So that's why I won't tweak that one. All right? It always needs to be 9 out of 10, and it always needs to be at 90% accuracy, unless there's some sort of weirdness to the goal, or it's something different, or it's a behavior goal, or something like that. But it always has to be measured that way, because it's enough times to say, okay, she's mastered that, or he's mastered that. Okay, not 3 out of 4 times, because we all could do something 3 out of 4 times. We can all remember something 3 out of 4 times. And a lot of times, I've very rarely seen school systems take it that whole 9-week period, which is insane to me. What do you mean you're working on a goal for 2 weeks? Then what the hell are you working on after that? Doesn't make sense to me. Find out. How long is your goals worked on? Oh, we work on it all year. You know, this is what they have to accomplish all year. Okay. Cool. What are the short-term objectives? What do they look like? How long are they worked on? How many times do you work on them each week? Are they worked on each week? What makes it mastered? What makes it not mastered? What makes it progressive? What makes it that they're just starting it versus making progress? Making sufficient progress is a big one that I'll hear. What does that mean? What does sufficient mean? They're making enough progress to what? Do you see how I have questions to that? That word needs to go. I don't understand it. Progress reports, IEPs, all documentation in regards to special education has to be understandable to the parent. Sufficient. Look it up. That is a generalized word that means nothing in regards to a goal because it's too generalized. It can mean different things at different times for different things. You see what I'm saying? So sufficient progress is not a good word to use in a progress report. All right, I'm done today. All right, so if you're joining, post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live. If you're catching the replay, welcome. Post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live. Post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. And make sure you connect this one to the other one because I kind of got disconnected because my computer died and I was too busy talking and I didn't plug it in. Sorry. And if you guys want to share the first video and this one to the group, so those of you who don't know about the group, you put in the search bar, Autism on Rocks IEP group, and join the group today. It's awesome. Which reminds me, I got to go and answer a ton of questions because I love answering questions, but I've just been so crazy, so I got to get on that. But it's a great group, and everybody's great there. So I've talked too much. I talked for like 40 minutes on the other one, 36 minutes here. I'm going to go and look at your questions. I promise. I'm engaging with you guys. I promise. But I wanted to get everything out so you guys kind of knew where I was coming from and how it wasn't short and sweet like I said it would be. Go figure. And, you know, they have 3 out of 4 times, but this will be changed next week. Good. Jessica, I will read that when I get off. Okay. But thanks for joining me tonight, guys. I know I said I was going to be short. I mean, gosh, I say that all the time, and then I just start running my mouth, and the shit end is history. So, you know, that's how I roll. But if you need anything, guys, PM me. Again, my calendar is still off. I'm crazy busy, but if you are wanting to get on the books, I put somebody on the books today. I'm putting people on the books and continuing to do that as you PM me and we talk. But right now if I got stuff going with the calendar and people are putting, you know, doing 4-hour makeovers here and doing different things here and there, then it would be too much. So let me know if you need anything. Just PM me and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Bye-bye.